The objective of this lesson is to find the volume of cones. A cone has a circle as a base, and then the height is going from the point perpendicular to the base. So to find the volume of a cone, the volume of the cone is going to be 1/3 of the area of the base, which is the circle, times the height. So in other words, that would be V equals 1/3 pi r squared h, where you square the radius. Remember, radius is half of a circle, half the diameter. So looking at this problem here, we can see that we have a radius of 3 and a height of 10 inches. So remember, our formula is just simply V equals 1/3 pi the radius squared times the height. So all you got to do is punch those buttons into your calculator. You can either use the fraction button for the 1/3, or you can multiply everything and divide by 3. But when you do that, you will find that the volume is 94.2 inches cubed. Again, volume is always cubed on the unit. So look at this problem, pause the video, and try this problem on your own. If you did this problem correctly, you should have gotten the volume to be 65.97 meters cubed. And I wanted to show you something real quick here. Some people have been messing up rounding. So remember that when we're rounding to the tenths, we're looking at tenths is one place after the decimal. So when we do that, we have to look at this, the number next to it, and decide if it's a 5 or above, the number goes up. If it's 4 or below, then it stays the same. So this would go up. But the problem I'm seeing some people do is they think, well, after 9 comes 10. Well, yes and no. It should be 1.0, not 0.1. So when you round this would be, the volume would be 66.0, and you add the 0.0 when it asks to round to the tenths, so that you can show that the tenths is 0. But what happens when a cone has a radius of 2 meters? Here, we'll just skip ahead to this one. A cone has a radius of 2 meters and a height of 5 meters. Explain whether doubling the height would have the same effect on the volume of the cone as doubling the radius. So if you look at this, if you take 1/3 pi, a radius of 2 squared, times 5, you would get about 20.93 meters cubed. Now if you doubled the height, so instead of 5, it would be 10 meters, you end up with approximately 41.87 meters cubed. But if you double the radius, you end up with 83.73 meters cubed. So if you notice, if you look at this, 20.9 to 41.8, that's, you're multiplying by 2. But going from 20 to 83, you end up multiplying by 4. The reason this difference is if you notice, when we're multiplying by 2 here, we're just multiplying by 2. But when we got it inside the parentheses here, and we're squaring it, so you'd have 2 squared. 2 squared is 4. That's why it's multiplied by 4 when we double the radius. So now, let's try another example here of a word problem. Use a calculator to find the volume of a cone to the nearest cubic centimeter if the radius of the base is 15 centimeters and the height is 64. So, what it's telling us here is that the radius is 15 and the height is 64. So again, we're still using the same formula. Volume equals 1/3 pi r squared times the height. So volume equals 1/3 pi, our r stands for radius, which is 15 squared, times the height of 64. Now again, you just plug this into your calculator. You can again use 1/3, or you could put 1 divide 3 times pi times 15 squared. Remember, squared is the x squared key, times 64. And when you do that, you're going to get 15,079.6 centimeters cubed. So pause the video and try this one on your own. If you did this one correctly, you should have gotten the volume is equal to 3,284.0 centimeters cubed. Again, I put the 0.0 to show because it said to round to the tenths. So now you're going to try this last one on your own. But just be careful that you notice something here. If you notice, the base of this cone here, that circle, it's showing that it's 5 inches is the diameter. Remember, a radius is only half of a diameter. So find your radius, find your height, and then use the formula V equals 1/3 pi radius squared times the height. When you're done, bring it up to me to check your answer.